Hi everyone, this is Tony from 101 Plus. I have a little tutorial today about brightening and lightening faces. Here we have an image of three really handsome guys, a dad and his two sons. They're out having a great time someplace, and they stopped to pose for this picture as we all do. And one of the things that we don't stop to think about is that during the middle of the day, if we're wearing caps or if we're under a tree or whatever, or if we're in a backlit situation, that there's shadows that are cast over our faces. And of course, when we're taking a photo, the most important thing is to see the faces and especially the eyes. Well, here we have a photo that, it was a great image in the fact that they all have great smiles and all of that. And it's, it's a moment. So, but we want to try to see if we can maybe bring the faces back a little bit brighter because they're a little dark and they're in the shadows, and it's partly due because of the where they're standing and the fact that they're wearing caps. But anyway, so here's what we want to try to do. This is where we're at the moment, and we want to try to get to this spot where it's just a little bit brighter. You can see we improved this photo quite a bit by doing that. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to get rid of these layers right here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to duplicate our background layer, and the best way to do that is on a Mac. You hit Command J. On a PC, it's Control J. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to change the blending mode. Right now the blending mode's on normal, and I'm going to change it to screen. And when I do that, the whole image brightens up, and the whole image needed to be brightened. And so that looks pretty good. And, but the problem, a little bit of a problem is that when I brightened the whole image, his shirt got blown out quite a bit. And I really don't want his shirt to be blown out. So we're going to fix that too. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to come over here and grab my quick selection tool. And I'm just going to paint over his shirt just to select his shirt. So you can see I'm selecting that, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to get this, so that it's not blown out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer mask, and I'm going to hold down my Option key, and I'll go right down here to where it says Add Layer Mask. I'm just going to click on that, and as you can see, what this did is created a mask to hide the brightness of the screen that we did. So now look at this. Here's that's the way it was, and then that's where we got. So we got rid of all the brightness, and that's a good thing. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is the image right now is just a little bit flat. The colors don't really pop, so we want to have those colors pop just a little bit more. And this is a cool little trick I like to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another adjustment layer, and I'm going to make it a levels adjustment layer, and then I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to go back to my layers, and I'm going to change the blending mode to soft light. And as I do that, you can see it just gives you a lot of contrast. Now that's a little bit over the top, so it's a bit much. So I'm going to take the opacity and just bring that down to, maybe right around 60%. And you can see that's where we were, and we just added a little bit more pop. Now, their faces are still a little bit dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another adjustment, a levels adjustment layer, and what I want to do is just bring some lightness back into their faces. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to click on the midtones, and I just brighten them up a little bit. And now, as you can tell, when I'm doing that, it's not only doing their faces, but it's doing the whole image. Just don't worry about that, because we're going to fix that right now. So right now I'm just looking at the faces and trying to get them pretty much to where I want them. And that looks pretty good there. So I'll go back there. Now you know that every time we make an adjustment layer, that it comes with a mask on it. But right now the mask is white, and I want to turn that to black to hide. I want to hide everything. And the best way, the shortcut for that I like is Command I, or on a PC it's Control I. And I'm going to get my brush tool, and I'm just going to slightly now begin, and I'm going to make sure that I'm painting with white. So I'll hit my X key to make that go to white. And then I'm just going to start painting in some of the lightness with my brush. And so you can see here, and I'm using a really soft brush and with a very low opacity of about 25. So I'm just going to start painting in the brightness there. You can see it just starts to come in just a little bit there. You know, if I was to click on the on and off, you can see the little difference there. And then I want to come over here and just try to even these tones out so they're not too many, you know, just even them out and just bring them back a little bit. And just these are real subtle adjustments. You probably can't really see them too much on your screen. I'll hit the eye here, as you can see on and off. And so you can see how that's just a really subtle, but it's bringing their faces out. And so I think the last thing I want to do is I want to finish this off by putting a little a vignette around it. So I'm going to make an adjust. I'm just going to create a new level. a new layer. And I want to come up to image. I want to come up to edit. And I want to fill this with black. So you want to make sure that that's set to black and hit OK. And now what I want to do is I want to get my elliptical marquee tool, and I'm using a feather of about 70. And I'm just going to draw where I want my vignette to be. Now you can see that this is selecting the inside, but I need this to be selected. So the way I do that is I come up to where it says select, and I hit inverse, and now the outside is selected, and that's what I want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, and I'm just going to add a layer mask to that, and now you can see how I have my my mask here, but it's totally black. And what I want to do is I'm going to come up to my blending mode, and I'm going to turn that to soft light. And that just gives it a nice little vignette. It's very subtle. You can't really tell. But I'm actually going to turn that down just a little bit too. Come down to about 75%. And there's the little vignette. And see, a vignette is nice because it just brings attention to their faces. So that's what we want to do. So there you have it. Here's the before, there's what we started, and there's the after. So pretty nice improvement. Now you can print this out, hang it on your wall, have everyone look at it, and be happy. Okay, hey, thanks a lot for checking in. This is Tony from 101 Plus. I'll see you the next time.